Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and my 9-year-old just talked me into taking him to Chick-fil-A. This kid is unstoppable. So let's get this party started. Let me do a refresh. It looks like XRP is holding there at about 70 cents, which is pretty strong. It got, what was it, a 5 to 10 cent bump just out of the Japanese ODL announcement. That happened pretty darn quick. Things happen fast in crypto. Now, I wanted to play you a clip that came across my desk last night. This is from The Chosen One. This is BitBoy, and I want to play you a clip of him, and then I wanted to show you a tweet that it reminded me of when he said this.
XRP is going to be one of the best gainers for 2021. Once all the legal FUD clears out, XRP is going to rip. Sitting at less than 80 cents, so the recording of this video, it's definitely still a steal. Buying XRP because I see its upside. There's so much behind the scenes happening with XRP and its integration with the digital currency group. Its cousin, Flare Network, is bringing DeFi to XRP in the form of wrapped assets like Litecoin and Stellar called F assets. XRP is going to quickly become the preferred crypto for interbank transfers and settlements. So much momentum, I can see XRP easily breaking $15, peaking out around $22. So if you've been able to scoop up some XRP, you will not be disappointed if you hold. None of this, of course, is financial advice. I'm just watching what the whales are doing. Call me a whale watcher.
I agree with everything.
XRP is going to be...
I agree with everything he said except for one thing. XRP does not peak, quote, peak out at $22. XRP is going a lot further beyond $22 in my opinion. Now, what this reminds me of is this quote. This is a quote by, let me do a refresh there. This is a quote by Hodor, the Hodor Blog. For those of you that have been around for a while, you'll remember the Hodor Blog. This was one of the sharpest people that was talking XRP and Ripple. In fact, Hodor is one of the only people in social media that I have ever seen Brad Garlinghouse acknowledge as someone that he read the blog and whatnot. And there were also specific instances in Hodor's blog where he said that he talked to people at Ripple. So I always wondered if he had a lot better, he or she had a lot better connections with Ripple than we all realized. Then later, of course, as many of them do that seem to have information that some of us don't, they disappear off of social media. This is a Hodor quote from his blog. At what XRP price point will Ripple be worth $1 trillion? XRP price equals $17 USD. Just so you're mentally and emotionally prepared for it, the price won't stop at $17. It will keep going past this artificial construct that makes people uncomfortable. That's from the Hodor blog. I think that was back in 2018 or 19. But I really enjoyed his blog. I wish the guy or girl would come back and start writing again. But that's how it works in this space. People disappear, and they usually don't reappear. Okay, James Rule XRP. Now, he posted this blog that, not blog, but this podcast that Chris Larson was on. There's no date here, and I looked for a date, but I could not see a date. So I'm assuming this is new. A lot of the topics are relatively new, I think, because they talk about Elon Musk and Dogecoin and all that. So I have to believe that it's somewhat recent. But I pulled a few clips from this that I wanted you to hear. Here we go.
Yeah, boy, Elon. Look, love Elon. The investment SpaceX into another fund. Love what they're doing there. And he's done more for, climate change as far as building the first successful EV company than anybody on earth, right? So that's all great stuff. His participation in crypto has been weird, though, right? It's almost...
kind of iffy.
Yeah, kind of haphazard, right? I mean, he went super big on Bitcoin, and then he just bailed on him. I think you build them for the right reasons, but it's like, whoa. So if you were a Bitcoin, maximalist, you're going to be feeling pretty bad about that, right?
Yeah.
Same thing could happen to Dogecoin like tomorrow, right? So who knows, right? So that's one thing to watch out for. I think when it comes to Doge was started as a joke, I think is.
I know, yeah, it was a meme.
Right? I mean, it was almost to try to make fun of the crypto industry by its founders who are no longer part of it, right? It's an unlimited supply. It's also a proof of work system, which is bad from energy, although it doesn't use, anything close to what Bitcoin does, but nonetheless, it's still proof of work. If you're getting involved with Doge because of the to the moon thing and Elon, just realize you were gambling. There's no different than that than going to Vegas other than, I guess, your listeners, maybe they can't go to Vegas yet, but you're gambling, plain and simple. And most people that gamble lose all their money. A few of them make a ton of money. That's just the reality. So I think that's the way you look at it.
Well, when the green candles were happening for Dogecoin, and I was one of the only people that was out here saying to stay away from it, and I was attacked by all sorts of people about how it's going to have all this value and all this. Well, it looks like I'm in good company with Chris Larson is all I've got to say. Okay, and then here he is talking about whether the XRP Ledger is decentralized.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is decentralized. I think there was a lot of misinformation. Again, this is a tribal industry, so if the Bitcoin people try to, especially I'd say in the earlier days, it was like out and out war sometimes. Try to frame your enemies in certain ways, I guess. But bottom line is, look, if Ripple, the company, went away today, the XRP Ledger keeps cranking forward. It isn't affected at all, right? It's no different than if Consensus, which is a company that supports the Ethereum network, started by Joe Lubin, one of the founders of Ethereum, good guy. No different than if Consensus went away tomorrow, the Ethereum crypto and distributed ledger continues to move.
By the way, I think in a nice way, he just took a shot at Ethereum and Joseph Lubin. I think Chris Larson's probably watching all these videos of the absurdity of letting Ethereum have a free pass with this Ripple lawsuit. I think he's well aware of what Joe Lubin and Ethereum pulled off. And I think he's well aware of all of this. And I think he just took a nice shot with a smile.
No different from look at the core developers at Bitcoin, ended tomorrow, it would continue moving forward, right? And you see that with China cracking down on Bitcoin miners. They've gone from like 65% of the miners in China maybe a month ago down to about 45%. Pretty dramatic change because of that crackdown. Just keeps moving forward though, right? So, that's a good thing. But yeah, Ripple runs some validators, but it's in the single digits of public validators, not even counting the private validators that also validate the ledger and the state of the ledger. So yeah, it's just bunk that anybody would call XRP Ledger centralized. If anybody who calls it that just doesn't know what they're talking about. And it's super easy to validate what I just said. It's open source. The ledger is public. So anybody can build on it. We just need to move beyond the nonsense and focus on what things really are.
Okay, so apparently the SEC does not know what they're talking about. I think we already knew that. And then finally, there's this clip. I've told you proof of work doesn't work, and it was never Bitcoin. Here's your confirmation.
All of those things were sort of premised on a better version of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's fascinating, brilliant, but it's got some fundamental problems, one of which is the system it uses for consensus is way too energy consumptive. And whether it's green energy or dirty energy, it just shouldn't work that way. You don't need to use energy to to have a consensus in a distributed system that would make sure you didn't have double spend. You just don't need it. There's other ways of doing it, and that's kind of what we set out to do. Was loved Bitcoin, but we thought that there was a better way of doing it that didn't use a lot of energy, that was therefore much faster. Bitcoin is at least 10 minutes, sometimes an hour or longer. XRP Ledger is 3 seconds. Much lower cost. Some of the fees now in Bitcoin can be crazy per transaction, right? $20. I mean, it varies all over the place, but you can't have that. If the internet had fees like that, it never would have got off the ground, right? So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
that didn't make a lot of sense. And then also the throughput, with 7 transactions per second, it's just way too slow. Ripple's transaction flow through 1,000 transactions. Obviously, you need way more than that to serve the world. And most of the transactions will be off ledger, but you always have to settle back to the ledger at some point. So the ledger with the highest throughput is going to have the lowest cost of settlement back to the ledger, even if most of the transactions are off ledger. So that's a really important concept. So all of those things were fundamental improvements, and that's what we set out to do. And it's been a lot of fun. That's how it started. Now obviously the industry is growing up a lot. As you mentioned.
Okay, you just heard, all you Bitcoin maxis out there, you just heard the adult in the room. You just heard from the chairman of Ripple, which, remember, the XRP, we are the most intelligent people in crypto, and he would be the top figurehead of those intelligent people. So, you just heard the dealio. Whether you want to accept the truth or not, that's up to you. If you want your investment to be a religion, you just keep on walking towards that cliff, because this isn't about religion. This is about what adults do and how they look at investments. That's what this is about. Okay, Michael at VAL5 links. PayPal customers will soon have access to greater range of crypto services through the global payment platform. Okay, this is CEO Dan Schulman from PayPal. I just wanted to show you this part. New features will include high yield savings, early access to direct deposit funds and messaging functions, and will be driven by advanced AI and other machine learning capabilities. This high yield savings, if PayPal's doing it, write it down. It's coming with Goldman, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, BNY Mellon. They're all ramping up their custody. It's coming. Get ready. Okay, CSTAT sent me this, key to interoperability. They refer to digital currency. The IMF was online talking about all this morning. They had a live, and Julia Chatterley is there, which I find interesting. But here's an interesting line. The safest form of digital money are central bank digital currency. Then come stable coins, to the extent they meet strict regulations. Crypto assets like Bitcoin are investment instruments, but not money. All right. So who's building CBDCs? Who's building private ledgers? That would be Ripple. Who's in the game as far as that goes that we know? Algorand and Stellar and XRP. Period. That's the fact, Jack. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that the IMF is telling you that it's not Bitcoin. You can see it a mile away. If you're able to see it through your religion, you can see it. Bitcoin, folks. Thanks for listening.